Hello, hello, hello. So, welcome to the first Angry Guy stream on this channel. I know it's awesome. Today, we are discussing why women are angry at password bros for realizing their worth. We're going to be talking about a guy named Scott and his wife named Divine. And it's so interesting because Scott is a guy who has had a lot of hardships, a lot of problems, and some of you may know about him, but he's a password bro, and he has a channel on YouTube. And here's Scott, right? And he met a girl from Manila in the Philippines. There she is. Scott and Divine. And they've been together ever since, and they've gone through a lot. And it's pretty incredible, their story. And I want to talk a little bit today about how these relationships actually develop, how they flourish. And I want you guys to think about this because so many guys put themselves down and they don't realize that they are the prize. You are the prize as the man. You have the value. Women are looking for a good man. And you have to understand that what's happening in the United States right now compared to the rest of the world, what's happening in Western society, what's happening in Western society overall, it's absolutely abnormal. You know, this type of thing is abnormal. The relationships between men and women in the rest of the world, it's absolutely abnormal. And I'm just making that very, very clear because a lot of people don't seem to realize it. They don't understand it. And I want to make that clear to a lot of people. Men and women. And shout out to Endless. Shout out to Endless. The spokesperson says angry South Africa in the building. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Tactical Insider says, yo man, how's it going? How's it going, Tactical? How's it going, bro? I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy what's happening in this world right now. It's crazy what a lot of guys are putting up with. Men don't realize, a lot of guys don't understand the value that they have, the value that you have as a man. You don't understand just how much value you have. When you go overseas and a woman overseas sees you, to her, you're an exotic person. You are exotic, okay? Tactical says, I've been gone for a while, been in the field playing in the dirt. Yeah, yeah. A lot of these guys, they're in the West, and in the West, they're struggling. In the West, they're dealing with so many different problems, so much hardships. They feel like no one wants to be with them. And then they go overseas and they find something different. And then you'll have people who try to criticize them and say, well, oh, you couldn't get a girl, you can get a woman in your own country. What you're doing is wrong. What you have to understand is that, and this is just being honest, women in Western society, 80% of women in Western society don't like 95% of guys. They completely disqualify 95% of guys from the dating market. They find 95% of Western guys as unattractive. 80% of women find 95% of Western guys as completely unattractive. Most women find most men as unattractive. And when you realize that the rate is so high, like 95%, then you begin to realize that it's strange. Something is odd. Something very odd is happening in Western society. Let's play a little bit more of this video because I want you guys to look at this very carefully. Right? That's Scott. Scott has some physical issues. However, he basically, and I think this guy's awesome. He basically, despite his physical issues, he traveled over to the Philippines all on his own. His doctor said, yeah, that's not going to happen. He said, yeah, whatever. And he did it anyway. right? Said after a year passed because he met her during November 2017, I was able to book a ticket to go visit her because he met her online, right? That's him at the airport. And basically, people told him you couldn't do it. Doctor told him you couldn't do it. No way. And guess what? Guess what? Next stop, Japan. So I guess he had to stop over in Japan. And he made it. And, eventually, this guy, hello, the land of rising sun. Let's make a video for Babe now. I did a short, nervous video. Okay. And I mean, guys, it's so crazy because so many guys don't realize how much value they have as men. So many guys put themselves down before they even shoot their shot. And there she is. There she is over in the Philippines. And it's just unbelievable. Tactical, let's check out Tactical's comment. Tactical says, was in the box trading and ran into the sergeant. Married dude from the islands. Wife is from Philippines. Dude was talking and let drop some stuff from your channel. Your TikTok snippets. What? People are watching me on TikTok. Okay, so that's pretty awesome. That's really awesome. I mean, guys, it's great. It's absolutely great. It's great that so many men are now able to, contain this, get this content, because there were years ago, this wasn't even available. And look, we were looking at her. She's waiting for, it looks like she's waiting to meet him at the airport, right over in Manila. And I want to jump ahead a little bit, but let's see here. Let's have a look. There he is. She sees him. And he's going through their customs process right now. But eventually they're going to, they see each other and they hug each other very quickly. And I mean, it's crazy. And they've been together for a couple of years now. Okay, Tactical, he clarified. I was like, TikTok? Because I do have some stuff on TikTok, but not much. He says, not TikTok. I guess YouTube snippets you do. It's scary because I'm a monk. Don't talk about red pill stuff, but I keep running into dudes who've been watching content on the side. More and more guys are picking up on the content. More and more guys are saying, you know what? I have value. I have self-worth. I know what my self-worth is, and I'm going to go, and people are going to realize that. They're going to see me for my self-worth. They're going to see me for what I have to offer, right? And this is, you can see them. They've been together, and there are people who say that, oh, she's only with him for his money. And I'll pause right here for a moment. And the thing is that, they're married now, and they're very happy together, and they're living a great life together, and a really high quality life together. And it's funny because the people that are going after him are men. The people that are going after this guy are predominantly men who are basically jealous that this guy, with all of his health issues, was able to go on a plane, travel to the Philippines, meet the woman that he loved, all right, marry her, bring her back, marry her, and start a life with her. And let me explain this very carefully. Are there risks? Of course. There are always risks in life. But they're furious that he was able to do something that they are not, because a lot of men today are absolute defeatists. They give up before they even try. They don't even try. They give up before they even try. And it's ridiculous. Let me see here. Let me check out this comment right here from Endless. All right. Endless says, question. Does angry guy, does rejection count as a part of hardship, even if you've never had a girlfriend/relationship as a guy? It absolutely does count as a part of hardship. That rejection is a big part. Is a big part of the game. Learning how to accept rejection. This is one of the parts of being a man. Learning how to take rejection. You're going to get rejected a lot, okay? It doesn't matter what you, unless you're a Chad or Pookie, Ray Ray, Tyrone, you're gonna get rejected a lot. Okay, that's the honest to goodness truth. Even if you're a good looking guy, unless you're a straight up Chad, because there's a lot of good looking guys who are getting rejected. Unless you are a Chad, chisel Chad, you're going to be rejected, and you're going to get a lot of rejection, especially in Western society. When you go overseas, it changes because, for example, because in other countries, you go to the Philippines, you're exotic. You go to Japan, you're exotic. All right. You go to all these different countries in Asia, even in Europe, even some places in Europe, Africa, you're exotic. You're different. You stand out. You stand out because you look different. You are exotic in a lot of these places. And you have to comprehend that. You have to comprehend that. I like this comment. I like this comment here from Casper. Without risk, there is no reward. Live your life. Guys, so many guys have become so weak today. So weak today. They want to take no risk in life. And don't get me wrong, I understand. Trust me, because there are so many guys who've lost so much over the years and everything. But without risk, there's no reward. And you can be as careful as you want to in life, and you'll still end up getting screwed over sometimes. Sometimes, no matter what you do, life still gives you poop. And it's a part of life and learning how to deal with it. Now, we know that a lot of guys are going overseas. They're finding pretty good wives over in the Philippines, Thailand, and other countries. Some swear by Japanese women. Again, and not just in Asia, but we're talking about it's in South America as well, Spanish-speaking countries. And I want you guys just to comprehend this and just to think about this very carefully. That if you don't take a risk, if you don't take risk, Michael Jordan basically said it pretty much like, the shots that he always worries about are the shots that he doesn't take, that he never took. And if you don't shoot your shot, you'll really never know. In Western society, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend going around and trying to shoot your shot in Western society, because Western society is conflated. Western society is a society where Chad and Tyrone and Pookie and Ray Ray, they're running wild. They control society. And it's in modern day women in Western society, they're basically just trying to get their bag. When you go overseas, a woman sees actual value in you. She sees you as a provider. She sees you as a protector. She likes your facial features. Like this guy, for example, in America, people may say that he's not very good looking. Overseas in the Philippines and Thailand and these countries, they like the shape of his nose. They like the shape of his nose. They like the color of his skin. They like the way his lips look. And they want to have children that have those features. They may like the color of his hair. They might say, oh, wow, I like how his hair looks. I want my children to have those features. I like the color of his eyes. He has, like, let's say he has brown eyes or blue eyes or green eyes. Okay, I like those features. I want my children to have those features as well. You have to remember, for these women, he looks exotic. He looks exotic. Let's see what Simon says. All right. Simon says, yo, what's up, Angry? I hope all is well. I'm tuning in from Florida. Shout out to Florida. I really enjoy your content. I'm just a humble Gen Z guy following the right path and avoiding modern degeneracy. I value the fact that you say that you're avoiding modern degeneracy. I know I go hard on Gen Z. Keep in mind, most of my subscribers are Gen X, and I basically consider I'm a Zennial, and I basically consider myself Gen X. And it is, there's a lot of degeneracy. There's a lot of degeneracy. As long as you're aware of it and you're trying your best to avoid it and not become a part of the problem, then kudos to you. Thanks for watching the channel also, because without you guys, I could not do this. Tim Husk. Okay, Tim. Tim says, when I landed in Cebu, my wife was there waiting and had a whole family accepted my with limb and paralyzed arm. So he went over there and there was an entire family that accepted him with a limp and a paralyzed arm, and that's really that's something. That is really something. It shows you the difference. Now, don't get me wrong. You have to use your brain, use common sense, and don't expect that you're always going to have this type of thing waiting for you. You have to be mindful, especially with money. Don't go around flaunting your money. Don't talk about how much money you have. Be humble, and, and I again and be mindful for, like, when you're dealing with some of these people. If they ask you for money, make it very clear to your wife's family that you will take care of that, you're taking care of her, but you're not going to take care of her family. You're not going to be there to fund her family's lifestyle. Like, I mean, talk to her and ask her what her expectations are. And you need to get to know this person before you get into a long-term relationship with them. All right. I don't know if I got to Endless yet. Endless said, I'm South African. I remember in high school, I would either get rejected or friend zone. I had stopped approaching early on. This problem, and I don't know how old you are, Endless. This problem started quite some time ago. Because back in my day, if you just talked to a girl, that was a big deal. Because a lot of guys just never even talked to girls. A lot of guys never even shot their shot. A lot of guys just they just took a step back. And the guys who got girlfriends were the guys who talked to girls, and you didn't have to be a very handsome guy. You know, I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being very, very honest with you. It just comes down to what you're willing to invest and what you're willing to do and how far you're willing to go. And I mean, that's all there is to it. You have to have confidence in yourself. You have to learn confidence, and that's something that you develop through repetition, through talking, through engagement. But in the Western society, when it comes to Western, getting into relationships, you have to remember that, like I said, most Western women don't like most Western guys, and that can really damage a guy's self-esteem. And I've said this before, that you're going to have it in the future where you're going to have like 13-year-old boys that have their little girlfriend in another country, and they're going to be Skyping and talking to their girlfriend in another country. And they and the kid's going to say, Daddy, I want to go visit Sarah, whatever her name is. I don't know if she's in Eastern Europe or the Philippines, wherever. And mom and dad are going to have to sort it out so that he can go visit his girlfriend overseas, because they know what America's like, and they don't want him getting mixed up with a Western woman or a woman in the UK, because they don't want that trouble. And it's going to become a standard thing. It's going to become a standard thing where even the kids, even the boys, are going to start, they're going to start at 13 years old, maybe even younger, like, finding girls to talk to overseas in other countries you know, where women are still feminine, they still value masculine energy, and they don't have a general disdain for when it comes to guys, when it comes to men. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Tactical says, Tactical says, notice all of the overseas women have been clapping back. It's like the women in the US are so out of touch that they don't notice or are oblivious that the women are proving critics wrong. It's true. And part of it is that the women in the US, they know that they can't compete. A lot of them, they know that they cannot compete with a lot of these women over there. These women are younger, they're fit, they're feminine, they're kind, they're playful, and they know that they can't compete with that. They know that they cannot compete with these things. These women are very attractive. I mean, you cannot compete with a 25-year-old when you are 40 years old. Okay? You can't compete with a 20-something-year-old woman. You can't compete with a woman who loves to clean, loves to cook. And she doesn't and these are things that she does for herself. She does these things for herself. So that's not seen as labor for her, because she'd be, regardless if she's with a man or not, she would be doing these things. All right. She doesn't want to eat out all the time. She wants to eat her own food, because that's another part of her culture. And those are big things to really understand. I mean, you guys have to understand that. You have to realize that it's a huge monumental shift that is occurring right now. It's a huge shift. It's a giant shift, and it's only going to continue, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. More guys are going to just continue to go overseas. Like I've said this before, and I will say it again, because a lot of people don't truly comprehend the magnitude of the passport bros. I said this, that right now it's a trend. Trends become normalities, and normalities become traditions. And ultimately, the direction that we are headed in is we're heading in the direction where, this thing becomes a tradition. This thing becomes a tradition. And I want you guys to really just think about that, because that's really where things are going right now. You know, it's going in a direction where it's going to become a tradition. It's going to become a tradition. And guys, if you're enjoying this stream and you want to, tip me at any point, you can find a link in the description to donate using Streamlabs, or you can donate on YouTube as well. Drop a super. But anyway, I mean, like I was saying, it's absolutely phenomenal what we're seeing, and it's only going to continue to grow. We're only going to continue to see more and more guys taking this path, like the gentleman right here. Let's play some more of the video, and you can see the pictures of him with his girl. He went over there. He's at his hotel. It's a very nice place over in the Philippines. I mean, she's absolutely gorgeous. And she's great. Guys, like I said, he's not a bad looking guy. The problem is that from the American perspective, from the Western perspective, for Western women, they have so many choices that, they consider a guy making $100,000 a year as a broke boy. You make $100,000 a year in the US, and a lot of American women, oh, shoots, Tactical sticker. Tactical dropped me a super sticker. Thank you so much, Tactical. Super sticker. Thank you so much, Tactical, for that super sticker. I really appreciate that, bro. Really appreciate it. Yeah, guys. I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And when we're looking at the video, we're seeing all the different things that they're doing, and look at the life that this guy is living. Look at all the things that he's enjoying, and he's got his girl by his side. And look at the incredible food that she's preparing. And it's crazy, guys, that the hygiene of Filipinas, and it's not just Filipinas, but a lot of Asians in general have extreme hygiene practices. Like, they're very tidy, very clean. The way they take care of themselves, it's really something. It really is something. And I want you guys to really think about that. I want you guys to really think about that, because there's so much hope. There's so many guys that feel defeated right now. There's so many guys that feel hopeless right now. They feel like no one wants them. No one wants to be in a relationship with them. And it's not true. It's not true. You have to get out of that mindset. And it hurts so much knowing that there's so many guys that don't see the value that they have as men. They don't realize how much value they have. And by the way, like, if you see what she looks like now, this is her in the Philippines, guys. That's her in the Philippines. That's when he met her, right? This is like in, I think, 2017, right? And what does she look like now? I just want to show you this, guys. All right. Let me show you what she looks like now.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go to electronics while you. I'm gonna go to electronics while you do that. Okay. All right.
So that's what she looks like now.
Okay, so we're not going to electronics right now. Actually, my TikTok has been wanting me to buy her a bidet because.
So they're in the U.S. They're married, and I mean, I just want you to see that. Like, his wife is absolutely gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. and they have such crazy hygiene. So this is something crazy about, if you don't guys don't remember this, Filipinas, they don't like to use toilet paper. You're like, ew, they don't use toilet paper? No, they don't like to use toilet paper. That's because if they poop, they wash their butts. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. It's an insane thing. It's actually something, and being part Asian is something I've done for years also. I don't like to I don't like to use toilet paper. If I poop, I always wash my butt as long as it's an option. And that's something that Filipinos in general also do. They are super hygienic, and they always clean up after themselves. So if they go to the bathroom, if they use the toilet, then they're gonna wash up. They're gonna wash their butts, they're gonna wash up. And it's really a very a very interesting quality that these people have. And for example, even in the US, they've come back to the US. This is something that she practices.